Good evening. I know that you would wish me as Prime Minister to talk to you tonight on the problem which is in everybody's mind, and to tell you what has happened, what the government has done, and why it has done it. To look at the matter quietly and thoughtfully together is not to deny our emotions and our differences, but for the moment, let's forget our passions and our parties. Let's look at our problem in the light of our country's needs and dangers. Should we have left it at that? Should we have been content to wait to see whether they would act? How long would this have taken? And where would the forest fire have spread in the meantime? Would words have been enough? What we did do was to take police action at once. Action to end the fighting and to separate the armies. We acted swiftly and reported to the Security Council, and I believe that before long it will become apparent to everybody that we acted rightly and wisely. Our friends inside the Commonwealth and outside couldn't, in the very nature of things, be consulted in time. You just cannot have immediate action and extensive consultation as well. But our friends are coming, as Australia and New Zealand have already done, and I believe that Canada and the United States will soon come, to see that we acted with courage and speed to deal with a situation which just could not wait. There are two things I would ask you not to forget, never to forget. We cannot allow, we could not allow, a conflict in the Middle East to spread. Our survival as a nation depends on oil, and nearly 3/4 of our oil comes from that part of the world. As a Labour Member of Parliament, speaking in support of the government, put it, to be without oil, I quote him, to be without oil is to see our industries grind to a standstill and starvation overtake the people. Yes. Chaos in the Middle East could permanently lower the standard of life in this country, in Europe, as well as in many poorer countries in the world. The other reflection is this. It's a personal one. All my life, I've been a man of peace, working for peace, striving for peace, negotiating for peace. I've been a League of Nations man and a United Nations man. And I'm still the same man, with the same conviction, the same devotion to peace. I couldn't be other, even if I wished. But I'm utterly convinced that the action we have taken is right. Over the years, I've seen, as many of you have, the mood of peace at any price. Many of you remember that mood in our own country, and how we paid for it. Between the wars, we saw things happening which we felt were adding to the danger of a great world war. Should we have acted swiftly to deal with them, even though it meant the use of force? Or should we have hoped for the best and gone on hoping and talking, as in fact we did? There are times for courage, times for action. And this is one thing, in the interests of peace. I do hope we've learnt our lesson. Our passionate love of peace, our intense loathing of war, have often held us back from using force, even at times when we knew in our heads, if not in our hearts, that its use was in the interests of peace. And I believe with all my heart and head, for both are needed, that this is a time for action, effective and swift. Yes, even by the use of some force in order to prevent the forest fire from spreading, to prevent the horror and devastation of a larger war. The government knew, and they regretted it, that this action would shock and hurt some people. There's the bombing of military targets, and military targets only. It's better to destroy machines on the ground than let them destroy people from the air. We had to think of our troops and of the inhabitants of the towns and villages. Above all, it was our duty to act, and act swiftly, for only by such action could we secure peace. We learned that the Israeli forces have captured the Egyptian army in Sinai. We learned, too, that the United Nations Truce Organization is trying to arrange contact between the two sides to establish terms of surrender. We hope that this organization will be able to arrange for all the captured Egyptians to return to Egypt. We shall certainly give them all the help we can in this. It seems that Israel has succeeded in destroying the bases in Sinai and Gaza in which Egyptian commando raiders were trained for attacks on Israel. Once British and French forces have occupied the key points on the Canal, Her Majesty's government will ensure that the Israeli forces withdraw from Egyptian territory. I've no doubt that is their intention, but they will not do so unless we are there to keep the peace, to give the necessary guarantees, and prevent a repetition of these events. So finally, my friends, what are we seeking to do? First and foremost, to stop the fighting, to separate the armies, and to make sure that there's no more fighting. We've stepped in because the United Nations couldn't do so in time. If the United Nations will take over this police action, we shall welcome it. Indeed, we propose that course to them. And police action means not only to end the fighting now, but also to bring a lasting peace to an area which for 10 years has lived or tried to live under the constant threat of war. Until the United Nations force is there, ready to take over, we and the French must go on with the job until the job is done. All this could mean, let's hope and pray it does, that the outcome will be not only peace in the Middle East, but a strengthened United Nations, one with power to act as well as to talk, a real force for peace in the world. Good night to you all.